Hey there everyone, A2Z here with game number 2 of this best of 3 series between the blue Terran Imba Strelok and his red Zerg opponent Maus Morrow. This will be game number 2 of that best of 3 series, and I will shortly spoil what happened in the first game. So if you don't want to hear that from me, please follow the link that I'll be putting up here in this area, as it's always more fun to watch a game yourself than it is just to have me tell you what happens, as we see these two players continuing their friendly chat that was happening in the start of game number 1, as these two players are friends, so they're going to be joking around with one another as Maus Morrow does a little play on words of Imba Strelok's clan name right up here, saying that Zerg is more Imba than Strelok. At any rate, in game number 1, we did see Strelok take it down pretty easily and pretty quickly, kind of just riding a Destiny Cloud Fist and using it very, very well, starting out with a Reactored Hellion factory play, moving those across the map and kind of suppressing the natural expansion of the Zerg player, forcing those drones back into the main, and then transitioning straight into a Tech Lab starport, using one single Cloaked Banshee. That Banshee went up to, I believe, 14 kills, so a lot of damage done to the mineral line of the Zerg player last game. He'll have to do a better job of preventing that this game, as losing that many drones did force Morrow into an all-in attack that he tried to launch on Strelok's base, but that attack was repelled very handily, so Morrow was forced to GG out of game number 1, and Strelok is now up 1-0 here in this best of 3 series. This is, by the way, the semifinals of the Go4SC2 Cup number 116, happened just last Sunday. It is just a bi-weekly or maybe tri-weekly tournament. Go look that up online if it is interesting to you. And we will see whoever takes down this series move on to the finals, as we see a natural expansion just now being taken by the Zerg player. If Strelok is able to win this game, he will move on to the finals, winning the series 2-0. But if Morrow takes this game down, he will force a third and deciding game. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here in game number 2, as these players are spawning on Shakuras Plateau, both in the top positions, one in the top right, one in the top left, as we now see a Tech Lab going up on this barracks for our Terran player. This indicates to me that he might be going for some Reaper harass, as he does love harassment, and indeed he is now just starting that first Reaper, actually queuing that up over here, it looks like, which is strange to me, because if a Reaper is queued up like that, it'll actually take, well, it'll take this cliff at least, but it'll have to still go across this portion of the map. And with a Reaper, you can actually just take this backdoor cliff from your main, ride this road over here, and then jump straight up into the mineral line of your opponent. So I'm not sure why he has that Reaper queued up as he does, but I'm not one to doubt him, as actually, here's the reason. There's an SCV putting up a bunker right next to this expansion that was very close to finishing. So Morrow will not be very happy about this, as there's a bunker literally right next to his natural expansion's hatchery, just not spawning in time. As we see, it will spew creep, but this bunker did get put up in time to not have that creep matter quite yet. This Reaper is going to be, well, that's not the Reaper. The Reaper is over here. The Reaper is going to be coming across the map and finding a very comfortable home in this bunker, as a second Reaper is about to pop as well out of that original barracks for our Terran player. This Reaper, content with just exploring the base, not needing to go into that bunker quite yet, going to throw a couple of grenades into the spine crawler that's trying to spawn and defend its home. Going to be kiting a couple of Zerglings right now. Will it be able to get into bunker alive? It does look like it makes it into there, being knocked down into the red health, but managing to make it out of there safely, taking out a couple of Zerglings on its way into that bunker. So now we have Morrow on the defensive, trying to hold off this early bunker rush, as that second Reaper did take the back door, but is now going to be riding this road into the spine crawler. The spine crawler is trying to move down into a defensive position, but it's going to be rained down grenades on the entire way, as one SCV does lose its life. The second one is still busy repairing this bunker, but now this SCV is in danger of dying as well, and indeed it does die. Over here we see a second command center being built by our Terran player Strelok, so he's probably going to be flying that down to his natural expansion at his leisure. Meanwhile, his bunker rush has been neutralized, as this first bunker does die, and the two Reapers, nowhere to go, will get taken out as well. There's a third Reaper on the field with a fourth one on the way. I don't believe he'll allow that Reaper to finish, and indeed he does cancel it, as Reapers would not be quite as cost effective at this point. I believe he salvaged that bunker just to get a couple of the resources he spent back. Let's take a look at the resources lost tab, and that original pressure was pretty effective, as it only lost our Terran player 400 resources, while Morrow did incur 750 resources worth of damage. How many workers did he lose? It looks like 11 workers killed by our Terran player, so very successful harass in game number 2 as well as game number 1. He has a 3 supply depot wall already up, so these Zerglings won't be able to ride their way into the main base. He's also going to be putting a bunker up behind his supply depots just to make sure his Main ramp is protected as well as possible. Strelok is also getting a factory underway, having that about halfway done. He already has his first factory out, already putting a reactor onto that, so probably some Hellion play coming out of that. We see a starport being built by Strelok as well, so he will have access to 2 factories, a 1 barracks, and a starport as well in the way of production facilities. This Reaper is going to be going back across the map, now jumping into the mineral line, probably going to kill a couple of drones if he decides to move into there, and it does look like he will start attacking. 1 drone does lose his life, the second one able to escape into the rest of the drones, so this Reaper still only has 2 kills, as now there are Zerglings and 1 Queen very angry, going to be taking shots at this Reaper. Does turn around, very unwise right there, will decide to run, and it does look like he'll make it out off that cliff and survive to fight another day, as we have 3 Hellions and that Infernal Pre-Igniter upgrade. This Queen playing linebacker will try to intercept this Reaper, but does not succeed, as the Reaper makes it down off that ramp and is now going to be hiding here behind these trees, trying to survive as long as possible, as now it looks like there is a Zergling scouting party looking for that Reaper, wanting so badly to kill it. Meanwhile, Strelok is going to be taking his natural expansion, just now landing that original orbital command right there, so he will start to populate that expansion with workers and also mules as well, salvaging that bunker as it was no longer needed. And he has 3, now 4 Hellions coming out of this other factory, while this one factory is churning out Hellions as well. He is still researching that Infernal Pre-Igniter upgrade. There is 1 Zergling right here, will get roasted away. Meanwhile, up here, there is a medevac full of Hellions, so we'll see how much damage he's able to do with this, as he might time this perfectly with when those Infernal Pre-Igniter upgrade is finished. Hellions right here, taking out a Zergling at the watchtower, so very effective play by them. This medevac is reaching the mineral line of Morrow, and there's nothing here to defend it save for that 1 Queen. So these drones are in some serious trouble as Hellions are dropped inside the mineral line, able to get a ton of damage done onto these drones. Infernal Pre-Igniter just now finishing, blue flames coming out of these Hellions. You hate to see that when you are a drone, getting burned your face off, and more drones losing their lives. That Queen trying to repel the assault, and now this medevac joining these 2 Hellions, now 3 Hellions down here. We'll keep an eye out on those, as these 4 Hellions are all still alive. This Queen trying to do some damage, but not doing enough in the way of repelling those Hellions. This medevac loading again with 3 more Hellions. These 4 Hellions effectively completely neutralizing the main base of our Zerg player. There's so many drones in the natural, as 3 Hellions are dropped down here. 1 Hellion does get killed down there, it looks like. There's 2 Hellions up here still fighting against the Queen. These Hellions doing a ton of damage to the drones right here. Let's take a look. I'm almost afraid to see 45 workers killed, 46 now by the Terran player, 48 as I close that tab. So wow, almost 50 workers lost right here throughout this game for our Zerg player. You hate to see that. That is so much bloodshed. Still more Hellions loose inside the Zerg player's territory. It looks like 4 full HP Hellions going to be loading up inside this medevac. Keep in mind that there's more and more units being produced back at Strelok's base. These 4 Hellions are going to be meeting 2 Queens. These drones are forced to evacuate back into the main, but 2 lose their lives. These drones just giving up, it looks like, as they will all get killed. These Hellions, all 4 still alive, going to be moving into the mineral line of the main, and now these drones have nowhere left to run. It looks like those tried to make a last stand, and that worked about as well as you'd think drones against Hellions would work for those drones. These drones have no idea what to do, getting a split off on them, it looked like, but still a lot of them getting roasted away. More Hellions being dropped inside the natural expansion of the Zerg player. He has no workers left. He only has 14 harvesters. He's lost now 78 harvesters. So really, he is hurting so incredibly badly right now. This is amazing, the damage that Strelok was able to do. Still doing more damage, still rallying more Hellions onto this side of the field. As if you were watching the production tab, we never saw Strelok cut Hellion production. He is continuing to commit to Hellions, continuing to commit to doing a ton of damage to the workers of our Zerg player. There really aren't any workers left at this point. There are 8 harvesters, now 9 drones alive for the Zerg player, all at this natural expansion. Still about as many Hellions on the field as there are drones, which is never good. And Morrow realizes that he must concede defeat, as he really has no chance of coming back in this game. Looking at the supply count, it's 91 to 10. So Morrow will be forced to GG out of this game. We'll have to wait to see just when he decides to do that. But it looks like he says soon. One more. Wow, Morrow took so much economic damage. We'll see if he breaks the century mark while Strelok of workers killed. right here sitting on 97, now 98 with that one drone killed. Are there enough workers? No, only one harvester, so he cannot get into 100. So Morrow is joking around saying there's one last drone here in the natural, still mining minerals very diligently, and a squadron of 6 Hellions saying, screw you drone, you should die. And indeed, it does do quite that. As Manor Mules are being dropped by Strelok. This isn't VM, this is just the two players having fun with each other. As Morrow saying, kill the queens, man. You might as well, because of course there's really nothing else for those Hellions to do. As we are up to 99 workers killed. Oh, we have 3 queens going to be attacking the mules, so it looks like these Hellions will have a little bit of work left to do. Let's just check how many Hellions there are right here. There are 9 Hellions joined by 1 mule and 1 SCV. A Thor, no, actually 2 Thors going to be coming for Strelok, so 2 Thors going to be taking on 3 queens. No, actually going to be joining them with Hellions as well. This is the penultimate final battle. Well, that's not penultimate. This is the ultimate final battle of this game, as Morrow is making a last stand with 3 queens, trying to hold off this attack from Hellions and Thors. Will he be able to do it? I am not quite sure. Let's take a look at the APM tab just for fun. That last queen being roasted away. So very sad, and with that queen does die any sort of hope for a Zerg player. Scams galore going off for the Terran, as this game was long ago over. And indeed, Strelok will force Morrow to GG. And Morrow says, well done. And he says, now I won because you GG'd first, as Strelok was the first one to throw it up. These two players are very close friends, it looks like, so they are having fun with one another before this game does indeed finish. Morrow saying, wish me luck in the finals, but of course it is Strelok moving on to the finals. And finally, Morrow drops the fun act and says good luck in the finals, as now we will see Strelok moving on to the finals of the Go4SC2 Cup. This was a very fun game to watch, as Hellions just had so much fun in this game today. Let's just take a look at each one of these Hellions. This one with 3 kills, this one with none, this one with 4 kills, this one with 2 kills, this one with 5 kills, this one with 2 kills, this one with 4 kills, this one with no kills, and this one with 1 kill. So all of these Hellions almost getting in on the action. 99 workers killed by our Terran player. That is just a Zerg player's worst nightmare, to see his drones being roasted away at his main, roasted away at his natural, nowhere to go, and just basically left to die here in the in-between space. So well played by the Terran player this game. Strelok deserved his win in these 2 games, taking down the series with a combination of very, very effective harassments. It was Hellions and Banshees in the first game, and then it was Reapers into Hellions here in the second game. So I hope you guys enjoyed that series, and I will see you guys next time.